Hi guys, the chapter breathing and exchange of gases. In the previous class, we have discussed about human respiratory system, mechanism of respiration, the capacity of the lungs. As well, we discussed about exchange of gases also we have discussed. Okay. Today we are entering into a new topic, that is the transportation of the gases. Okay, right. In the transportation of the gases, today we discuss about transport of oxygen. In the next class we discuss about transport of carbon dioxide. Already in the previous class we have discussed about transport of gases depends upon concentration gradient. Here atmosphere is having a mixture of gases. In the mixture of gases, the pressure of the individual gas is called as partial pressures. Various gases are maintaining various partial pressures. So based on these partial pressures, the gases are moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. Suppose oxygen is more in the atmosphere, less in the tissues. That's why oxygen is moving from atmosphere to lungs, lungs to blood, blood to tissues. This is the path of the oxygen. As well, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is very less in the atmosphere, very more in the tissues, because the tissues are producing carbon dioxide. That's why the carbon dioxide is moving from tissues to the blood, blood to the alveoli, alveoli to the atmosphere. This is the pathway of the carbon dioxide. Like that, oxygen as well as carbon dioxide are moving in opposite direction inside of our body. Okay. Today's class we discuss only the topic transportation of oxygen only. Right? Right. Yes. In the transportation of oxygen, it is moving from alveoli to the tissues. It is moving from alveoli to the tissues. How it is moving from alveoli to the tissues? Through the plasma and red blood cells of the blood. How it is moving? Suppose we are taking oxygen to the lungs. From the lungs, how it is reaching the various parts of the body means through the blood. In the blood, how it is means through the plasma as well as with the help of the red blood cells also. Here, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can hold approximately 20 ml of oxygen. Means in our body, we are having 5 liters of the blood, approx, a healthy person. In that blood, just 100 ml of the oxygenated blood can hold 20 ml of oxygen. Not exactly 20, it is approx 19 points in that, like that. 20 ml of oxygen it is holding, oxygenated blood. When it is reaches to the tissues, there because of the low partial pressure of the oxygen, it releases 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal condition. Okay guys, hope you understand. 100 ml of the blood holds, oxygenated blood holds 20 ml of oxygen. As well, the same 100 ml of blood delivers 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal conditions. Under normal conditions. Okay guys? Okay. Here, the transportation of the oxygen through the plasma only 3%. Because the oxygen is less soluble in the water when compared with the carbon dioxide. Only 3% of the oxygen only transported through the plasma of the blood to the tissues. Whereas the remaining 97% of the oxygen is transported to the tissues by red blood cells. How it is transported to the tissues? By the red blood cells. Right? Right. Yes, in the transportation of the oxygen to the tissues, red blood cells are playing a very vital role. Why the red blood cells are having that red color means due to the presence of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment in the human being. Not only human beings, in most of the vertebrates, hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. Due to the presence of the hemoglobin only, the red blood cells or erythrocytes appear in red color. Among the total blood cells, the red blood cells only are present in huge quantities. Now we have the detailed structure of respiratory structure of we have the detailed structure of respiratory pigment hemoglobin. We discuss about hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a conjugate protein, are also called as chromoprotein. It is made up of two units, heme plus globin. Heme plus globin. Heme is having iron. Iron means ferrous 2 plus ions are present in heme. Because of this ferrous 2 plus ions only, the hemoglobin can give a red color. Okay, got it? The hemoglobin appears red color due to the presence of the iron ions. Okay. Afterwards, globin. Globin is a protein. This protein is a tetramer, means made up of 4 polypeptide chains, 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains. Each chain is linked with one heme. One heme means one ferrous 2 plus ions. Each ferrous 2 plus ions can hold one oxygen molecules. Like that, each hemoglobin molecules can carry 4 oxygen molecules. Okay, guys, you see the diagram. This is the structure of hemoglobin. This is the structure of hemoglobin. There are 4 chains: alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. It is called tetramer. Why it is called tetramer means the globin is made up of 4 proteins, 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains. Okay? Here each of these chain is linked with heme. You have seen a yellow colored structure. This is called heme. The heme is having ferrous 2 plus ions. So each these ferrous ions can hold 1 oxygen molecules. Like that, how many hemes are there means 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one carry 1 oxygen molecule. Means 100% saturated hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen molecules. Suppose the hemoglobin 75% saturated, it can carry 3 oxygen molecule. If the hemoglobin 50% saturated, it is carrying 2 oxygen molecules. If the hemoglobin saturated 25%, it can carry only single oxygen molecule. Like that, every hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecules when it is 100% saturated. Okay, guys? Okay. Actually, this hemoglobin levels are different in different levels. Suppose in the males it is 14 to 18 grams per deciliter. Means on average 16 grams in the humans, the average hemoglobin. Whereas in the female it is 12 to 15, means average 14 grams per deciliter. Like that, the hemoglobin is vary in males as well as in females. Okay, guys? Afterwards, 1 hemoglobin carries 1 gram of hemoglobin carries 1.34 ml of oxygen. You remember this point. 1 gram hemoglobin carries 1.34 ml of oxygen. Okay? Okay. Just have a look, please. Come again, guys. Red blood cells having the red color due to the presence of the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is called respiratory pigment. Hemoglobin is called as a chromoprotein or conjugate protein because it is having 2 units, heme and globin. Globin is purely protein with 4 polypeptide chains. So it is called a tetramer. 2 alpha chains as well as 2 beta chains. Heme is made up of ferrous 2 plus ions, means iron. Due to the presence of the iron only, the hemoglobin is having a red color. Here each polypeptide chain is linked with 1 heme molecules. Each heme can carry 1 oxygen molecule. So 100% saturated hemoglobin can transport 4 oxygen molecules. 4 oxygen molecules. The hemoglobin is different in male as well as female. In the males, it is average 16 grams per a deciliter. In the females, 14 grams per a deciliter. Okay? Here 1 gram of hemoglobin carries 1.34 ml of oxygen. 1 gram of hemoglobin can transport 1.34 ml of oxygen. The hemoglobin affinity with oxygen is different in different conditions. The hemoglobin affinity with oxygen is differ in different conditions. Suppose here is a comparison. HbS. HbS means the hemoglobin present in sickle cell anemia patient. HbA. HbA means the hemoglobin present in adults. HbF means hemoglobin present in fetus. Next, myoglobin. Myoglobin means the respiratory pigment which is present in the muscles is called as myoglobin. Here myoglobin is having a huge quantity or huge capacity to hold the oxygen. When compared with all these, myoglobin can hold a huge quantity of oxygen. Later, hemoglobin in fetus. Hemoglobin in fetus can hold oxygen. Later, hemoglobin in adult can hold the oxygen. Finally, the less amount of the oxygen held by the hemoglobin in sickle cell anemic patients. Okay, this is upgrading of holding capacities of oxygen. Why this difference? Why this difference means in sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin beta structure having a different structure. Beta chain is having a different structure. Whereas hemoglobin in adults, in hemoglobin fetus, how they are differing means because of the structural difference. In the adults, 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains are present, whereas in the fetus, 2 alpha chains and 2 delta chains are present, not beta chains. 2 delta chains there, not beta chains. That's why that is the difference between the structure of the hemoglobin in adults, hemoglobin in fetus. Okay guys, afterwards 2-BPG, a molecule is there. 2,3 diphosphoglycerate. It is present in the different volumes in different hemoglobins. That's why it is different in hemoglobin adult as well as hemoglobin in fetus. Just a moment. Next, we are discussing about factors influencing binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin. Which factors influencing the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin? In that, various factors are there. Partial pressure of the oxygen, partial pressure of the carbon dioxide, the temperature, the pH value. pH value means the concentration of H plus ions. 2,3 biphosphoglycerate. In the previous slide we have discussed 2,3-BPG, biphosphoglycerate, or formerly it is called as diphosphoglycerate, which is present inside of the RBC. Actually, the holding capacity of oxygen is different in the fetus as well as in the adults. Why this difference means? It is mainly the difference because of this variation of 2,3 BPG only. Okay, right. Here the factors what are influencing the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin means partial pressure of oxygen, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, temperature, pH value means H plus ions concentration, 2,3 BPG. Okay, how oxygen is interacting with the hemoglobin? Here, four oxygen molecules are locking a hemoglobin. Where? In the lungs. In which conditions? Partial pressure of oxygen is high, partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is low, the temperature is low, the pH is high, means low concentration of H plus ions. These are the conditions which are present in the lungs. In such conditions, the hemoglobin combined with four oxygen molecules, then it is converted into oxyhemoglobin. What it is called? Oxyhemoglobin. Come again, you guys. In the lungs, certain conditions. What are certain conditions means? High partial pressure of the oxygen, low partial pressure of the carbon dioxide, low temperature, high pH value means low H plus ions concentration. These are the conditions present in the lungs. In certain conditions, the hemoglobin is combined with oxygen and forming oxyhemoglobin. What is this? Oxyhemoglobin. Here, deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood is present in purplish bluish red. Purplish bluish red. This bluish red color blood turns into bright red when it is oxygenated. This changes takes place in alveoli only. Because deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated blood, means oxyhemoglobin. This process is called oxygenation. It is not called oxidation. It is not called oxidation. It is called oxygenation. Why it is called oxygenation means it is a reversible process. It is a reversible process. Why it is a reversible process means when this oxygenated blood goes to the tissues, in the tissues the conditions are different from the lungs. What are the conditions means? In the tissues, partial pressure of the oxygen is low, partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is high, the temperature is high, the pH value is low, and increased H plus ions. These conditions are totally different from the lungs which are seen in the tissues. That's why this process is taking a reverse process. Means in the tissues this oxyhemoglobin again break down into hemoglobin and oxygen based on their conditions. Based on their conditions. If it is required, more amount of the oxygen is delivered. If it is not required, less amount of the oxygen is delivered. The delivering of oxygen in the tissues depends upon these parameters. Partial pressure of oxygen, partial pressure of the carbon dioxide, as well as the temperature and the pH value influencing the delivering of oxygen in the tissues. That's why the oxyhemoglobin again break down into hemoglobin and oxygen in the tissues. The oxygenated blood again becomes deoxygenated blood. Okay, guys, have a look. Now we discuss about oxygen dissociation curve. Oxygen dissociation curve. It is a sigmoid curve. Oxygen dissociation curve means, in the previous slide we have discussed hemoglobin by adding oxygen converted into oxyhemoglobin in the lungs. The oxyhemoglobin transported to the tissues. In the tissues, again oxyhemoglobin is breakdown into hemoglobin and oxygen in various conditions. Right? Right. Now, how the oxyhemoglobin is delivering? How the oxyhemoglobin is delivering oxygen in the tissues, that's we discuss right now. Right, you guys? Right. Here are some saturation levels of hemoglobin. Already we have discussed in the previous slide. The saturations of the hemoglobin is different in different conditions. Suppose 100 mm Hg. Where the 100 mm Hg of oxygen, where the partial pressure of the oxygen 100 mm of Hg or more than that, 97% of the hemoglobin is saturated. Stay cool, you guys. These are the partial pressures of the oxygen. These are the saturation levels of the hemoglobin. Where partial pressure of the oxygen 100% mmHg or more than that, 97% of the hemoglobin is saturated. This condition seen in the lungs. This condition seen in the lungs. Whereas a partial pressure 40 mmHg, only 75% hemoglobin is saturated. It is seen in resting tissues. Means in the resting tissues, hemoglobin delivers 22%. 22%. Whereas a partial pressure where it is 20 mmHg, it is holding only 35% of the oxygen. It is saturated only 35%. This condition seen in where the person is taking vigorous exercise. There the hemoglobin releases 62% of the oxygen. Okay? Have a look once. Come again, guys. Here, oxygen dissociation curve. It is a sigmoid curve. How it is later we discuss. These are the partial pressures of the oxygen. These are saturation levels of the oxygen. When partial pressure of the oxygen 100 or 100 plus, hemoglobin is 97 percentage is saturated. This process takes place in lungs. In the lungs, hemoglobin 97 percentage saturated. Whereas in resting tissues, the oxygen partial pressure is only 40. There 75 percentage of hemoglobin is saturated. Means the 97 becomes a 75. Means it is delivering 22% in resting tissues. Whereas in highly exercised muscles, the partial pressure of the oxygen is 20 mmHg only. Their hemoglobin saturation level is only 35. Means in exercise muscles, the oxyhemoglobin delivers 62% of the oxygen to the tissues. 62% of the oxygen to the tissues. Okay.